Hi guys, this is Rebecca here with another reading for you. This time I did things a little bit differently. This reading is just going to be a general reading for the next 7 days. And it doesn't have to be 7 days from the day I posted this, but from whatever day that you are seeing this, 7 days into the future is what this reading is about. So it can be, watched anytime and taken then. I did 4 groups this time again. The thing I did differently this time was I pulled all the cards already. So these are all the cards that are going to be involved in the reading. I don't generally do that. But I wanted to try it just to kind of see how it would go. And I think it's gonna cut down on some time. I mean, I already kind of edit it out when I'm shuffling for like almost 2 full minutes before I can get a card. So it should cut down on some of that time, but if I feel the need to pull any more cards for any of the groups, I will do that during the reading, but in general, these are gonna be all the cards that are in the readings for you. So, it's gonna be Tarot and Oracle. And then there's a couple little message cards at the end. I did use the same tarot decks and oracle decks for all of them, except there's 2 tarot decks I used for most of the tarot cards that I swapped between. So that's the only difference between any of the piles. But yeah, so if you want to pick group 1, we have this little rock here that I think is for like an aquarium. Honestly, I'm not sure where I got it or found it, but we've got this little green aquarium rock here for group 1. Group 2 has this little plastic blue diamond. That is for group 2. Group 3 has this little blue marble that I found. That's half for group 3. And then group 4 has this other marble that I have that looks like it's got a little flame on the inside, or maybe a little flower, however it looks to you. I always thought it looked like a little flame in here. So that is group 4's little charm there to pick from. So you can go ahead and pick whatever pile you want. I'll put the times in either the description or a pinned comment. You can jump to whatever group that is yours. And the thing different about this video is I'm filming it during the day for once. So I have a problem with this room. I don't have an overhead light for whatever reason, and so it doesn't, at nighttime it's really dark in here. I have one lamp, but it's really tiny and doesn't reach far from the wall, and it's kind of irritating to deal with, but I'm a night person, so usually I have more energy at night, but I was feeling it today, so I went ahead and did it today. That marble does not want to stay there. So I actually get to use the sunlight today, so that's a change for me. That's just going to stay there. So go ahead and pick whatever pile you'd like. This is again a general reading for this next 7 days coming up from whenever you see this video. So once you've picked your pile, you can go ahead and jump ahead, and we are going to get started with group number 1. Okay, so group 1. You are here if you picked the little green aquarium rock. The little thing right here. I'm going to go stick it over by my little doll here. Alright, so group 1, these are your cards that I already pulled for you. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay them all out, and then I'm going to talk about it. Hey, Marie, are you okay? Oh no. Okay. Ariel's got to go take care of something. Alright, so first card we got here, Five of Swords. And then we have the Three of Coins. We have the Six of Cups. The Knight of Swords. And then from one of my new decks that I've been wanting to get to use more here, the card I got for you from there is the Four of Air. It'll focus on it, probably not, but Four of Air. And then from one of my other new tarot decks, you've gotten the Justice card. And then for your first oracle, we got Meditation. And then the next oracle, we got Night Song. And then for your messages, which I'll read and do a little more in a minute, first card we got here was Trust. And then your other one was Prayer. And I'll get into those in a second. Alright, so with the top 4 tarot cards, I'm getting the feeling with the two swords, the 5 and the Knight, that you are currently going through some kind of, I don't want to say hardship, but some sort of challenge, maybe involved with your work, because it feels career related. And you're facing some kind of issue at work, whether it's an issue with another person or with the job itself. And both cards are kind of, they're not contradicting each other, but they say different things. The Five of Swords in this here is telling you to not hold on to all of that negativity from that conflict, to kind of let it go. You know, every fight that you get faced with isn't a fight that you have to take, you know? You don't have to argue with every person that comes near you or fight with everything that's ever said or done. Sometimes you can let it go and just let it slide off you and keep going, because sometimes it doesn't serve to help you in any way. The Knight of Swords, on the other hand, is telling you to act quickly and to get to the heart of the matter and, you know, just deal with it, kind of, which I guess you can do. That way you can let go of everything. Maybe it's something that nobody's talking about outright. Maybe it's kind of like something people know about, but nobody says anything about. Nobody's had a conflict over it outright yet. And then maybe you need to be the person to kind of just be like, hey, what's up? You know, and then, like, let's talk about this, get it over with, and move on, because we need to keep doing things here. And with that Three of Coins there, I think something new, I think, is associated with your job. Either you are new to this job, or you've just recently gotten a new position, or you have a new title. Something is a little different with your job than it was before. And maybe that's what's causing this conflict or issue with someone or some people at work or with your job itself. Maybe you have an issue with some part of your work and you need to talk to a higher up about it. And you need to take initiative to do that, because you're just starting to benefit from that 3 of coins with the new position you're in. And maybe you feel more comfortable at that moment to bring that up. You know, when you're brand new, you don't want to push anything because you're still the new person, but you know, I feel like you've been there enough that you can maybe try to make some sort of initiation here with it. And then with the 6 of Cups in there, it's talking about nostalgia and remembering back, maybe with some of this new stuff in your new position or your new job, you're remembering your old job or your old responsibilities in kind of a fond way. Maybe this isn't a job that you... Alright. Battery died mid-sentence, of course, so I was just saying that maybe you are thinking back on your past position, and maybe it's something that you're either missing because you knew the routine and knew everything that was to be done with that because it's what you previously did, or maybe you're just missing the familiar because right now maybe things are a little too unfamiliar for your liking. But and looking at your other cards, it seems like you are needing to find a good balance right now. Change is also obviously, you know, scary and kind of jolting because it changes things in your life, no matter how small they are. But with the Justice card here, it's asking you to find some balance, and the 4 of Air here is also talking about balance and organization and structure, routine, things like that. It's asking you to, you know, keep to a routine and a schedule, and you know, getting rid of any negative influences, things like that, to kind of really get your productivity to be at a max and for you to probably feel better. You know, get rid of this 5 of Swords feeling. And then with the meditation card, it says, I meditate daily to allow universal wisdom to flow through me. So maybe, you know, you need to have some kind of time where you're clearing out your mind and clearing out all the clutter that you don't need, maybe whatever voices, whether even if they're internal, that are bouncing around, that are making you feel this 5 of Swords energy. Because with the Night Song, with the bird here, hidden talents, you have a lot of potential, you have a lot of talents and a lot to offer, and you need to let yourself recognize that. If this was a promotion that you were given, you got it for a reason. You deserved it for a reason, and maybe you haven't fully shown that to people, or maybe not enough of it or as much as you have. I love this Halloween Oracle deck. I just got it. I love it already so much. And I wanted to use it for every group because we're getting close to Halloween. And each of these cards in the book has like a little poem for them. It's real short. And for the Night Song, it says, a ruby red bird singing in the darkness full of sound, like an unopened present, ribbons still bound. So it's talking about, you know, you're like a bird that sings in the darkness at night instead of during the day when most birds do. Whether it's because you are trying to intentionally hide something of like a talent or something that you like to do, or because you don't know how to express it differently yet, but you have hidden talents inside that I think would be very beneficial for you to bring forward when you feel comfortable. And it might also help to clear up some of this negativity. You need to kind of take stock of yourself and your life and clear the clutter and everything from your own brain, from your working surroundings, and find that balance. And just keep going forward and trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your ability to do this, and trust that you got this gain for a reason. And your trust card here, I'll bring it a little closer if you can see it, but I don't know if it'll focus well on these. But I trust that everything will be okay in the end. Partly because I simply know it in my gut, but also because it's way more fun to live with trust and confidence than to be a defensive wiener. So, be confident in yourself and in your abilities, because you have a lot of them. It's a lot that people don't even know about yet. So, don't let any other people get you down. Don't let yourself get you down in whatever you're doing. And then your other message card here is prayer. No matter how difficult the situation may seem, all is possible. Ask. We are listening. So prayer and meditation, honestly, are the same thing. It just depends on your outlook on what they mean. But, pray, meditate, let the wisdom of the universe or whatever higher power you might believe in go through you and clear out any negativity on the way out, and trust in yourself, trust in what you're doing and what you can do, and let others see the real you, that red bird singing in the night, and don't let them doubt you for what you have. Don't let them make you think you don't deserve it, where you're just thinking about what you had before, thinking maybe you made a mistake, because I don't think you did. I don't think the people that put you where you are did either. So, trust yourself, do some meditation and find some balance, and show off a little bit. Show off some of your hidden talents, and prove to anyone who would try to say differently that you deserve what you have. Okay? So that is what I've got for you for this next 7 days, Group 1. I hope you like this reading. I kind of like doing things this way too. But let me know if any of it resonated with you, and subscribe if you want to see more readings from me in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 2. You are here if you picked the little blue diamond here. Whoop. I'm just going to put him up here by my little doll. Righty there, I think. Okay. So I've got your cards that I've pre-pulled right here, and I'm going to lay them all out for you, and then we'll talk about it, and I'll look at it. So the first card we got is the Justice card. Here. And then we have the Lord of Skulls. We have the Eight of Grails. And we have the Queen of Skulls. Okay, and then for our next tarot deck, it's one of my new ones. We have number 3 card, which I believe is called Youth, but I have to look it up to be 100% sure. It's so new, I haven't really had a chance to use it much yet. And then from one of my other new tarot decks, we got the Sun. And then the first Oracle deck for you, we drew the Crown Chakra. And then for the other Oracle deck, you have Skeleton. And then for the couple messages cards, which I'll get into in a second, or a little bit later, I'll read them out for you. First one is Positive Thinking. And then we have Vision. So just right off the bat, there's a lot of skull images here. I mean, we have the two skulls from the Vampire Tarot, which is like the pentacles of that deck. We got the King and Queen, basically, of pentacles there with those two. And then we have the skeleton here, which also has the big skull in it. And we have the wolf is the animal of the Skulls deck, or the Skulls suit in that deck. And I also have another wolf here in this card, so those could be significant for you. Just wanted to point it out since I noticed it for anybody that might be important for. I want to check this card real quick to make sure I was right in what I called it. Yes, yeah, number 3 is the youth. So the keywords for that are adventure, new horizons, excitement, independence, freedom, rebellion, impulsiveness, loyalty, compromise. So, yeah, this is just a card about new adventures. It says living in the moment, asserting independence, new direction. It's like a new journey, feels like, without it. And it is called the youth, and it feels like a very youthful energy of just like getting ready to go out into the world and just see what you can see. I do see, though, and that may be why Justice is here to call for some balance, with that 8 of Grails. Generally, that card is speaking of feeling emotionally like very restricted. There's chains on the wrists of that vampire tying them together. So you might feel very emotionally restricted and maybe confined, and that might be why this card is also here. You might be feeling that way, and you just have this strong urge of the youth to, break out of it and really go out on an adventure and just break free of whatever is tying you down and just really like go kind of thing. Like, you want to get out, you want to break free, like that Queen song, I want to break free. Because if the Lord and Queen of Skulls there is talking about you, you are seemingly a very stable and grounded individual, and maybe that is financially or in your career. Maybe there's something happening relationship wise, if you're in a relationship, or maybe you're not. Maybe that's the problem you feel. But something emotionally is feeling very suffocating and restricting to you right now. And I think the Justice card is there to ask you to try to maybe figure out why that is, maybe try to get a little more balance in your life with emotions. Maybe you have been too focused on your skull energy of work and productivity and finances, and your emotions or your mental health or stability has weakened some since then. And you're being asked to kind of look into that this week and maybe make sure you're keeping your life balanced. I am not feeling super concerned about that right now. I mean, that is something you should watch and work on. But I feel like it's not a major point of concern for you, at least this week, because you also have, with this youth card and the sun, I feel like something's going to happen this week, whether it be something you initiate or something that's going to happen this week or in the next 7 days or so, something soon that is going to bring you so much joy and happiness and like celebration, where you're getting to break free, starting a new adventure. Maybe something new is starting for you next week, or maybe you're going on a trip and you're gonna feel like you can finally get out of, you know, your constraints for a while, and that's probably something you've been craving if you're feeling that Eight of Grails right now.
What? Kitty? You have an opinion?
Okay, and I'm gonna look at your skeleton real quick in my book, because I haven't looked up this one yet. So for these cards, they all have like a little poem in the book for them. And for skeleton, it says strength right here. And it says, on the outside is flesh, on the inside is bone. There is strength and vulnerability. In power we have grown. So maybe that's another reason it's asking you for balance, and just with that Justice card and with the Eight of Grails feeling restricted, maybe you aren't allowing yourself to express those emotions. You're not letting yourself be vulnerable right now for whatever reason. But I was going to say, you might be doing that because you feel like that would be weakness to show. Maybe whatever you want to express, you feel like would be a weakness in showing it, but it's not. Being vulnerable, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, is extremely strong and brave. So maybe that's what you need to do to get that sun to come in, and it'll allow you to go on this adventure. But you know, you might just be having a trip that'll happen that will let you express that, or at least let it cool off for a while you're out having fun. But skeleton is there as an advice card, I feel like, just to let you know, like, hey, you know, being vulnerable is strong, because you're letting other people see that you are human, and you aren't 100% all the time, and that's okay. Nobody is. So don't be afraid of that. Don't think it's weak to show it, because it's definitely not. Alright, and then your crown chakra card here says, I know I am part of Source, and my life is guided by divine wisdom. So the crown chakra is linked to thought, cognition, and self-knowledge. So balance and open your crown chakra, tap into the spiritual wisdom. And I think that's just having more to do with this skeleton. I think they do go hand in hand pretty well. Just asking you to open up that chakra up there, open up your ability to know that you are more than just your finances or your career or that kind of thing. You're more than that. You know, a human being is more than a skeleton. It's a body too, and it's the mind, it's the emotions, it's everything. And you need to find the balance with it to have that sun of experiencing joy and not feeling so restricted and things like that. So the vision, I feel like, is going to play into that as well. Well, I'll read your positive thinking card first. It says, in the garden of my mind, I water the good thoughts and weed out the bad ones. I throw in forgiveness and empathy seeds by the handful if I want, and I take a lawnmower to that jealousy and resentment patch. I'm a pretty badass mind gardener. So yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, garden your mind a little bit this week and get all that bad stuff out that you can, you know, reasonably, and just plant some more seeds of forgiveness, empathy, and just understanding for yourself. It doesn't have to be involving anyone else outside of you. This is all for you and about you. You know, let yourself acknowledge that you're human and that you need to feel your feelings, and that feeling them isn't a bad thing. It's just human, which we all are. And I think that Eight of Grails will dissolve very quickly if you let yourself just do that and get to go on your adventure and truly get to enjoy it. And your vision message here will be your last one. It says, a positive outcome requires a positive vision. Visualize everyone involved in your present situation surrounded by light and love. Make sure to include yourself also. Your love has the power to influence and transform the current events. So yes, that's exactly what I was saying. You know, I would never say to someone, just be happy, you know, just think happy, you'll be happy. Because that's not a good thing to say to anyone. But you need a positive vision on yourself in general, just to fully be a person and not, you know, do something horrible to yourself or those around you. So positive thinking, just garden your mind a little bit this week. Work on letting yourself being vulnerable and allow yourself to feel good and bad and let it get its balance that it needs, and then you're going to have the sun. You're going to be so happy and get to go on some kind of adventure real soon. Or you're just going to feel youthful and rejuvenated for doing it. You got to let the bad crap out at some point for the good to be able to come back in too. You know, there's only so much space. If you get it too full of the bad, your good can't balance it anymore. You need to release the bad to let the good fill back in. That's the message I'm really getting for you this week, group 2. So, that is your reading for you. Let me know if any of that resonated with you, and thank you for watching this reading. Subscribe if you want to see more readings from me in the future, and have a good week. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hello, group 3. You are here. She chose this little marble here that I found. I'm gonna put him up here by my doll. And then I got your cards right here that I have pulled already. I haven't seen them yet, other than maybe some that flipped while they were coming out, but I don't remember which was what. So I'm going to go ahead and lay them out, and then we'll go over all of it. So the first card I got for you is the Seven of Scepters. The next card is the Ten of Skulls. Then we have the Six of Scepters. And the last one for this tarot deck is the Queen of Grails. And I have one card from one of my newest decks, and it is card number 6. I have to look up what exactly that one is here in this deck. And then on one of my other new decks, I got the Magician for you. And then the first Oracle card, I've got Spark of Divine. And then we have Zombie. And then for your couple messages, which I'll read in depth towards the end, we got Story of My Life. and Sacred Source. So, without looking up this one yet, I can already tell that there is a lot of strength in this group already. I haven't looked at anything yet in depth, but just given some of these cards, I feel like this is a very powerful group. Like there's something with you guys that you're very gifted. Just with the Magician, Spark of Divine, Sacred Source, and then Zombie even. Even though this is brand new, I hardly know what these are yet, but that feels, it says Control, but and then you've got Six of Scepters as the victorious winning card. Scepters are like wands of other decks. And that Seven of Scepters is more of a conflict card, but it's also very strong and energetic. So I feel like this group, you've got a lot of stuff going on. You've got a lot of power and strength, and it's very cool. I like that. I'm gonna look up this card here. This deck is very new and it's got a little bit of different stuff than most decks. So card number 6 here is the Crone. It's feminine power, fearlessness, authenticity, individuality, independence, new purpose, freedom, shadow self. So it says untapped power and potential, fertile and productive future, be unbound and unapologetic. Do what's necessary, not what's expected. It's time to be fierce and fight back. What I say, strong energy. And that is also a lot of what this card's about, the Seven of Scepters. It's very fierce and aggressive and fighting back, struggling, but like screaming through it while you get it done. So, yeah, this group, there's a lot going on with you here, and the Ten of Skulls is financial security and abundance. So with the Six of Scepters right next to it, I think financially you might have just had some kind of big bonus or some big winnings of some kind. Something financially just really good has happened for you recently. Maybe like a bonus or a raise, something like that happened for you recently. And the Queen of Grails, you emotionally seem to be also doing really well, and you seem like a very put together, strong, fierce person who has the Magician as well. So you're very knowledgeable and powerful. I just keep getting the word powerful and strong. And I don't know if that's something you're aware of, but it's definitely there. My eyes are starting to hurt for some reason. It's been like that for a little bit while I was doing these readings, but it's now getting a lot more intense, and I don't know what that means, but it's like I've been straining my eyes. That's like how I feel when I wear my reading glasses for too long, when I'm not actually reading, so my eyes are trying to focus for too much time. I don't know if that means something to you guys, or what, but I just wanted to point that out. My eyes really hurt now. I'm looking up the Spark of Divine here real quick. Because at the bottom it says, I reignite the divine spark within me and recognize I am part of all creation. So part of this message is it's asking you to not let yourself be disconnected from the universe. It's asking you to reconnect with the divine and with the universe itself. Because even if you don't feel as if you are connected or you're not trying to be, that you are. And things that you do and say and contribute out in the world does affect other people. You know, you're not living isolated by yourself. And with all this power that I'm getting from this group, I feel like you're influencing a lot more around you than the normal person. So, in the book here it says, take charge of your own life. Become a responsible, caring human being, and your divine spark will strengthen your connection to the supportive energies within the universe. It's like once you acknowledge this connection and strengthen it, it says all aspects of your life will begin to flow more smoothly and easily. So, although you seem to be doing great already, if you get that feeling of the spark of divine, of the connection to everyone and everything around you, and acknowledge how much influence you have over that, even without even trying. Whatever the Seven of Scepters and the Crone are asking you to be so fierce about might ease up and become a little easier on you, where you can just enjoy your fruits of your labor a lot more than you've been able to maybe lately. So with the zombie card, it says, the dead arise, voices a mumbling, after our brains, our screams, they are tumbling. So with the zombie card, it says control underneath it. It says, one of the most frightening aspects of the idea of zombieism is the idea of our souls and consciousness being trapped inside a body that does not do our bidding, but someone else's. Another is the idea of being buried alive, the fate of some, it is said, who get trapped in already dead bodies. Should the zombie step suddenly into your life, it's time to look at the concept of control. Do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expression? Do you choose partners who are not your equal so that you are more easily manipulated and chanced into your liking? And changed to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you are not living your most authentic life, it's time to look at why and how to change that. So I think that is with the spark of divine here as well. I think maybe you do feel disconnected and out of control of things that happen. Maybe you feel like things always happen to you, not because you have any control over any of it, but because it just happens to you and you just react. But that's not true. Like, you need to realize how much power and strength you have, how much control you do have over your life and things that can happen to you. You have the Magician card here. You are very strong and able to do so much more than you think you can. I'm also, with my music playing right now, I just realized that as I was looking at it, the song I Will Not Bow from Breaking Benjamin is playing right now, and that feels significant to me for you guys. So if you're familiar with that song, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with it, go listen to it. It's a good song. Or look up the lyrics if you'd rather. I feel like this is talking about you a lot right now. I think this is your mindset right now, and you need to change a little bit and not shut yourself out from everything. Reconnect and remember how much of an influence you have. Things don't just happen to you. You are letting them happen by choice sometimes. Again, not always for everything, but like sometimes we do because it's easier than fighting against it. So just take back your control and reconnect, and you might find yourself a lot less exhausted. You have so much to offer and so much talent and power that, if harnessed the right way towards the right people, could be so good. Alright, so your message card, Story of My Life, says, as I tell myself the story of what's happening in my life, I choose to make it the kind of story where even the tough parts have a sort of inner beauty. It's ultimately a happy story where every character, no matter how wicked, is doing their best. And let me tell you, it'll be worth it when I earn that Pulitzer Prize for Best Inner Monologue. So I feel like that's significant to what I was saying. I choose to make it the kind of story where even the tough parts have a sort of inner beauty. I feel like that's what you need to take away from that a lot, more than anything else. It's like the story of your life. It's not something that just happens to you. You know, you can tell your own story. It's however you want to spin it to be what it is. You know, it's... Alright, so your other message card here is Sacred Source. As we, your angels, are here to remind you of your magnificence. You are literally an angel in the making, a being of eternal love and light, forever one with God, Goddess, and all creation. So yes, that's just more to the spark of the divine there. Reconnect to this world. Don't shut it away from yourself. And realize you have more control over your life and everything happening than you think you do. Remember that, and maybe you won't have to fight everything so hard. Alright, so that is the advice for you this week. I hope some of that resonated with you. If it did, let me know. Thank you for watching this reading. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 4. You are here if you picked this little marble. Looks like it had the flame inside of it. So I'll have that there. I'm just going to put that up here. So I'll have Group 3s up there. There we go. Got my little doll there. And I've got all your cards here that I drew earlier. And this is a general reading for the next 7 days. And it's 7 days from whenever you find the video, not from only when I posted it. So I'm gonna put all the cards out for you, and then I'll go over it. I will say that with this group was the only one of the 4 when I was drawing cards that I barely had to shuffle. Like, I'd shuffle a little tiny bit and cards would just come flying out of there. So there's definitely something that is wanting to be said to you about this next week, so just wanted to mention that before I got into anything else. So we'll start here. The first card, I've got the 3 of Swords, and then the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Swords, and then the Ace of Coins. And then the next tarot card I got from a new deck. I'll have to look up exactly what this one's called because the deck is different than most. You got card number 20. And then the other new tarot deck I have, you got the 7 of Flowers. The first oracle card, we have Nature Spirits. And then the other oracle card is Lady de los Muertos. And for your message cards, you have Generosity and Change. Okay, so let me look at what this number 20 card is here. So that's, like I said, brand new deck, and they have different cards than most. The number 20 card is Desire. It's desires, wants, dreams, ambition, goals, manifestation, consequences, selfishness. Key phrases for it says your most wanted, degree of desire, desire compels action, make another attempt, great expectations, great disappointment, ground your desires in reality. What you desire will have a price. Let your conscience be your guide. To desire something at the expense of another, selfish desires mirror a lack within. So, I feel like with that being right under the Three of Swords, that has something to do with that card. Because the Three of Swords is the heartbreak card. This is a sad card usually. I mean, if you look at this, it's two hands clasped together that are both being skewered through with swords. So they are now stuck together, suffering with these swords going through them. And yeah, this is generally the heartbreak and disappointment card. And I feel like that has something to do with the desires that you had. Or maybe that somebody had for you, but desires that happened that maybe led you down a bad path, or making a bad choice with a person or a decision that you made that caused a lot of pain and suffering, whether either just to yourself or to everyone involved in that situation. And with the Wheel of Fortune next to it, that's obviously all about change and the wheel turning and moving, the cycle continuing. Wheel of Fortune generally can be positive change. So, as painful as the Three of Swords is, whatever that disappointment was, or whatever it was that was leaving or is gone now maybe, whether it be a person or a thing that you were desiring, it being gone is probably for the better, if that's what happened. But that we'll have to see as it plays out, obviously. But the Ace of Coins there, it's showing, you know, a new beginning of a cycle with the Ace card. So I feel like this is definitely an ending of some kind with either a person or with something else that you really wanted and thought was going to be good for you, or maybe just something that you just really wanted and maybe you didn't know why, but it wasn't what you expected, and it hurt you a lot, or will be hurting you a lot this week. Queen of Swords generally is very much about finding truth and being able to see the truth through everything else. Yet clarity, honesty, having that insight of being able to see through anything that was deceiving you before. And somebody that is not as in touch with their emotions as maybe they should be. You might be somebody that has a bad habit of telling people how it is all the time, no matter how much you know it's going to hurt them. And maybe that's the situation with that Three of Swords. Maybe there was something said that hurt a lot more than you thought it would for someone, or someone that was the Queen of Swords person doing that to you. Something like that's happening for you this next week. And then yeah, with that the Ace of Coins there is a signal of a new beginning with a career or finances, or you're getting some kind of gift in the near future as well. So there is some things that will be hurting at first, but the Wheel of Fortune, I think, is playing into that Ace of Coins that will bring you a new opportunity that will be a good opportunity for you to get into. And the Seven of Flowers here, that is, that's like the Seven of Cups in most decks. So, although it will be hurting from the Three of Swords, the Seven is nearby and coming up probably with that Wheel of Fortune, and with the Ace New Beginning, you'll be beginning to feel a lot more happiness. And actually, when I look at it again in the actual little book here, I know it is feeling better than the Three of Swords, but most of the time with the Seven of Cups, or the Seven of Flowers with this card, you'll feel happy, it'll feel better, but I feel like it's gonna not be real. You're going to want to be happier and feel better, but it's not going to be completely real. And that again could be with this Desires card. There was something involved here that either you wanted or somebody else wanted close to you that caused this hurt from here, because it was something that somebody wanted at the cost of someone else's happiness. Which could have been maybe you were wronged in that situation, or maybe you wronged someone else with something that you wanted so much. Or like I said, somebody could have done that to you. And you put on this Seven of Flowers face of being so good and happy, and it's totally fine. And you can laugh with friends, but it's not a real happiness yet. It's still an illusion to those around you. Because you don't want people to know how much you're hurting. And if you are given the Ace of Coins type of gift or new beginning, you want to feel happy about it. You want to be grateful, even though you're still suffering. And with this Nature Spirits card, it says, I respect all of nature's elemental beings and help preserve life on Earth. This card's asking you to spend some time in nature or in your garden and just reconnect with the outside world and the nature and the life that's everywhere. And in doing that, you will get some of that back to you yourself. So you might have a job where you work inside all the time, or you're always at a desk or something like that, and you don't maybe get to spend as much time outside, and you might feel disconnected from nature, or nature is disconnected from you for whatever reason. So maybe try to do something outdoors. I know it's getting to the colder time of year in the northern hemisphere, but it's still warm enough, I feel like, in most places that you can, just take a walk. It doesn't have to be far. You don't have to be hiking for hours or planting trees everywhere to do this. Just go outside and breathe in some air, fresh air, and look at the trees and just acknowledge their presence and appreciate them being there and everything that they are. Sometimes doing that can make you feel a lot better just in doing that. So you can take some energy from nature and appreciating it and letting it be so vibrant around you, and it'll help you get through all of this and kind of get you into a better state, energy-wise and emotionally. So I'm going to look at the book for this Lady de los Muertos there, because this is a brand new deck. A Halloween oracle that I had to use for everybody since we're getting close to that time of year. And under that card it says acceptance and equality. It says, pale you step out of the night in red lace, full of flowers upon your crown. You bring the beauty to death, the equality and joy of the underground. So with this card, it says acceptance and equality, and the equality is the equality of death. You know, death is the equalizer of every living being in this world. It says it doesn't matter how rich you are, how successful you are, how good or how bad you are. Death. I was just reminded of a song from the musical Hamilton. If you know that musical, death doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes. We keep living anyway. I think the song is called Wait For It from Hamilton. So if you want to listen to that, go ahead. Any song from Hamilton is great. It's a good music from the good musical. But it made me think of that because, you know, that was a line from the song. But yeah, you know, still live, you know, a life that will make you happy, obviously, but don't kill yourself in the pursuit of all these desires that could come at the expense of someone else. Because if you get that success thing that you wanted so badly, and yet you cause suffering in another for it, like, in the end, it doesn't really change anything. Like, it's like, there's always a give and take with life, and that's the universe's balance. You know, nature balance is everything. You know, there's the light and the dark, the yin and yang pulling of each end. It's just being successful and being happy is, I think, the biggest thing people should want and strive for in this life, because that's all you have, you know. And it's supposed to kind of take away the fear of death as well, just knowing that. 'Cause, you know, nobody is exempt from it. Nobody gets out of dying. It just comes at different times for different people. And if you're holding on to something that doesn't serve you any longer, in particular material things, simplify and let it go, is what the card says. So if there is desires coming from you or people near you that are trying to push you more into that thinking of wanting more materialistic type things, regardless of who it might hinder or make suffer, try not to listen to them. You know, you just need to learn, you just need to be happy in your life and try not to take anything else with you. Alright, I don't know if I'm making sense anymore. I feel like I'm just rambling. Sorry. I'm going to read your first message card. This is generosity. I give generously to those around me, no matter how much or how little I have. I know there is more than enough to go around, and that the key is to allow it to keep going around without stopping. If I stop the flow, I'm like the one person at the stadium who doesn't do the wave. So yeah, that was kind of what I was saying. That's kind of what this card feels about. It's you know, it's the flow, the wheel of fortune too. Like I almost said the wheel of energy, the wheel of fortune. It's always turning. It's always going. It's always flowing. And you can't stop it. If you try to, you're just kind of a little hiccup that people go, what was that for? And then they just keep going. And your other message card is change. Life is a journey. It would be very unfulfilling if each step was exactly the same as the last, because life is always changing. It is forever fresh and new. Allow your life to unfold gracefully. Be grateful for what was, is, and forever will be. So I think something is going to change for you this week, and it might cause you a lot of suffering, but there is a new beginning close by that you can wait for and appreciate when it comes. And just take some time to be outside and enjoy nature and let that energy fill you back up to be happy again. And be generous, and don't worry about clinging onto every material thing you have. You know, live simply, live happily, and just enjoy what you have while you have it, and know that too many strong desires for more will only cause. And I don't know when it stopped recording, but I feel like I got most of my thought out before it did. But I was just going to say thank you for watching this reading group 4. That's all I have for you for this one. So, have a good week. Thank you for being here. Subscribe if you want to see more readings from me. And I will see you all next time. Bye.